Welcome to the Twilight Lounge, which today I am thankful is, well, it's not below street level, but it's as low as you can get because it's about 15 degrees cooler in here than it is outside, which is awesome. This is good for the Jews. We are the Jews. He is Eric Goldbrenner, and on this night he reclines.
Hebrew.
I am Larry Rosen, and I am melting.
You look all right.
Oh, it's terrible. But the thing is,
ran in here. Larry's like got running shoes on and shorts. He told me he just got off.
This
like
is
a
how.
10-mile hike.
This is me. All right, I'm going to complain a little bit about the weather. I know you're not supposed to because it's hot, and hot is supposed to equal good. But frankly, if I wanted to live in Texas, I'd live in Texas. There's two reasons why. First of all, I'm wearing little socks.
You got those little. Well, they're not the little. They're above the.
No,
ankle.
but I never wear little socks, and here I am.
I sometimes wear those ones below the ankle. Sometimes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, it's little. I hate little socks. Here I am wearing little socks because it's so freaking hot.
You got nice legs.
Thank you. I won best legs in 9th grade.
Really?
Oh yeah. That made me at that junior high school. Let me tell you. I was a
that.
nerd, and then no more nerd.
Really?
Either that or it was a joke, and they were making
like
fun of me. They might have been making fun of me.
I'm chicken leg.
Well, you're a slim guy.
This is beyond slim.
Yeah, you're a wisp of a guy. You're a feather. If you fought, you'd probably fight what, 110? Probably. No, seriously. If you were training, that was my water, and do not begrudge me my water today for it. Will be 90 degrees in and outside of my house, because. Okay, here's another. I'm just going to complain for the first 10 minutes about the weather.
How unusual.
Because everyone gets angry at me when I complain about the weather. All winter I've been complaining. I think it's freaking apocalyptic weather. It's a sign of bad things. I keep looking out my window waiting for the swarm of locusts to come.
It's global warming. It's real simple.
You know,
You can get metaphysical if you want, but scientists have really figured this out, you know?
Well, you know, it's funny. The global warming thing is something I did not want to believe because I didn't want to be with the crowd of people that believed it.
Yeah, I understand.
But I don't know how you can argue with a winter where... I mean, okay, you've lived here your whole life. This is not how warm it is here.
Oh, no, this is warm.
And it's not 75 degrees in December.
We've always had the occasional 90-degree spell that lasts 2 or 3 days.
Right. But then on the third day, you look out west and here comes the fog.
It's coming, you know.
It hasn't come. It was this hot 2 weeks ago. It's this hot now. It was 70 on Christmas.
My garden is loving it.
Your garden might be loving it.
It was raining in May, though.
Yeah, and when it did rain, it poured.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about global warming except say one thing.
What?
That I don't think anyone can dispute that global temperatures are increasing because we've been measuring it for hundreds of years. What they dispute is what is the cause.
Right.
And then it becomes a political issue. Is it industrialization, and do we have to change our industrial practices?
You think it's possible that that's just a cycle of things and we're just, there was an ice age before, there'll be an ice age again, things change.
I think it's totally possible. I don't think we have the historical perspective to judge, the Earth is 4 billion years old.
Right.
We've been looking at global weather patterns.
Well, no, it's actually only 1,000 years old, isn't it?
Come on.
All right, I'm just kidding. I don't believe it.
Even 1,000 years. It's like, look, at the time of, 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, when they were looking at how high the Nile goes and how
I'm going to stop looking at the computer and
recedes.
just look at you.
Yeah, look at me. Forget that.
All right.
Pretend the gear's not even here. It's just behind you.
It just gets more professional. We have Eric's rigged up what looks sort of like a boom mic, which is...
It's a boom.
Which is boom! It's a new thing for me.
When you stand up and hit it with your head,
I will say boom.
So here's my point. Ancient Egypt, 4,000, even more.
Yeah.
Thousands of years ago, they're watching the weather patterns. That was a whole fertile crescent area. That was grasslands, and that's where a lot of food came from. A lot of migratory animals went through. And they've been watching it. Clearly, since that time, that whole region has become desertified, right? That was before any industrialization.
Well, anybody who grew up near Disneyland remembers riding the circle train around Disneyland, goes through the Grand Canyon diorama. Prehistoric times, it's looking quite tropical. Present times, and by present I mean 1955,
right?
It's looking like the Grand Canyon that we know.
Right.
What sucks, though, is if climate change is inevitable and it's just the way things are and we have nothing to do with it, what sucks is it's never happened in a period that we could record, where tons of people would end up dying and stuff, and civilizations would be lost. It's kind of like, do you ever think, you'll have an earthquake, or they'll talk about the Midwest. The Midwest never has earthquakes. There was a 9.3 recorded earthquake in the Midwest 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But no one was there to go, shoot, there goes my livestock. Yeah, but and we just assumed since, Mount Rainier hasn't erupted in however hundreds of years, it's not going to do it again.
Right. Well, but then we made that assumption about Mount St. Helens. And
We sure did, and it blew.
Yeah, I take the long view on all these things. I'm not going to take a position on global warming, so I want all the hotheads to freak out on it.
No pun intended.
Because I don't care, because we're beyond the point of inevitability. Even if we change our practices, it's going to be too little too late. So, there's 7 billion people.
But we feel so much better about ourselves.
I feel great about myself.
If I wasn't so old and stiff, I could pat myself on the back for for driving a hybrid car, which I don't do, by the way.
Wait, you dumped the hybrid?
No, I said if I drove a hybrid car, I could pat myself on the back for doing my bit to stop global warming, even though it's really doing nothing.
No, well, it can't hurt. Hybrid car does something, but let's not forget that the elements that make up the batteries and all the heavy metals that are in those cars.
And the plant that makes the car.
Yeah, but this stuff's recyclable.
Okay.
I think it's all good, moves in the right direction.
If I could just have one thing happen, I wouldn't be so bothered by it if I could just have a room air conditioner in my bedroom so I could sleep.
So why you get one of those little things?
Well, here's the thing.
Get one of those things.
Is it Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Right.
Is that the hierarchy? Yeah. Okay. I would love it to be 65 degrees in my bedroom all the time.
I understand.
And I could conceivably, you don't even need a window air conditioner anymore, right? You just buy a little box and you roll it in there, turn it on, close the door, close the window, 65 degrees.
Right.
But, you know what that would mean for me?
What?
Endless ridicule from Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Maslow's she already makes fun of me when I bring the fan up, which is like anytime it gets above 70, the fan's up there, it's blowing in my face, she's making fun of me.
Yeah, but how often is she actually in the house? She's making fun of you, but then she's like...
No, I mean every night when I go to bed.
I thought half the time she's in Switzerland.
She is in Switzerland right now.
So what do you care?
So you're saying she's gone, she should come back and find a dripping, expensive, loud air conditioner in the bedroom?
No, I'm saying you got to
and me peacefully sleeping.
You get the air conditioner,
so
you put
happy.
It there, and then when she comes back, you put a little
I wrap it in a
blanket
Tiffany's
over.
box.
No, because then when she opens that up, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
I might actually get physically harmed in that case.
No, you put like a scarf over it, and you tell her, I got a little side
piece of furniture.
Right, you put a vase with a flower on it. I'm telling you, put a vase with a flower on it, becomes a marital aid.
Ooh. Well, it's interesting. It's interesting because
I've sees that flower.
Woohoo! It's interesting because
it's so cool in here.
Well, it's interesting because I was thinking about this, and it is like I always get mad. God, I wish she would just let me get an air. Well, of course she would let me get an air conditioner, but it is hierarchy of needs. My need to not get ridiculed constantly is greater than my need to be able to sleep at night. Plus, my need to not feel like a selfish jerk because I'm sleeping away in comfort while my poor child is suffocating in the room next door.
Yeah,
the unair-conditioned room next door.
To leave, right? So
no, I don't know. He's all right. I don't want him.
You're back on the fence on this one.
You have a teenager. Oh, by the way, I heard the most wonderful things about your younger daughter the other day. We ran into a family that she babysits for.
Oh, really?
She was babysitting for them that night.
Was it her
Belsky.
teacher? Oh, yeah, they're nice people.
Oh, she is the nicest.
Yeah, she's got a good relationship with
So you got a little dream child there.
She's a good girl. She's turning into a teenager, though. I mean,
they can't help it. They're just so irrational. They just can't help it.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, she was always such a sweet one. I mean, the way this kid would greet you, literally, you'd walk in the room, she'd be like, "Oh, hi, Larry. I like your shoes. So let me tell you about what's going on with school today. Oh, I like your shirt." I mean, she would hug her teachers when she left the class. She was just almost programmatically kind.
My poor child is just so stressed out right now about the AP test that he was a little bit of a pill. Yeah. With his mother in Switzerland.
Right. Prima took one the other day.
He bounced back. Yeah, they're not... Those AP tests, I don't even know if I think they're a good idea, frankly.
Yeah, so, you're talking to the wrong guy about this because what I've always told my children and what I believe is, I don't care what grade you get. Yeah. I don't care. You're not going to school so you can be graded by your teachers. You're going to learn. And if you get a D in mathematics and you got to take it again, I don't care if you have to take it twice to learn it. What I care is that you learn, and you must understand. And the goal of learning is you must understand how this world works, so you can be effective living in it.
Well, you are correct. However, grades are the capital by which they trade in education. At this point, I totally get it. Sandra Bullock went to a college with no grades.
Yeah.
And I
And
saw.
now look at her. She's like running her freaking
I know,
company.
she
She's all over
crushes.
the world while you're debating a
Right.
air conditioner.
Well, I had really bad grades, but I've seen her.
How could you have bad? You've been like to grad school more times than
Yeah.
I've been. The supermarket.
Well, that was writing grad school. You just had to send in your sample. Oh well, the second one. Okay, and by the second time, anyways.
Disclosure: Larry's being self-deprecating here.
But I did
Just
have
so you
really
know.
I did have really bad grades. I was the worst student until I got to grad school.
Really?
I was a horrible student. Once I got to grad school, like, oh, I'm gonna take this kind of
It's 'cause
seriously.
you're smart.
And then I realized I was
Yeah.
really good at grad school, but not what grad school was training me for.
Right. By the time you got up to
I
the
was
school,
great at being in
you're already
school.
supposed to be in an
Oh
occupation.
god, I was
right?
so good at being in school at that
Yeah.
point. Anyways, here's an idea I have for this week.
Yeah.
Something a little different. I brought with me the latest issue of the Jewish Weekly magazine, the weekend here in San Francisco,
The J.
called the J, the Jewish News Weekly. For a couple of reasons, I was walking